Hi, this is Satima Fowler.
And I'm Michael Borlaug.
And we're partners at Capstone IT and co-founders of TreasureCoastTop100.com. Today we're in for a great treat because, we started Treasure Coast Top 100 so we can profile success-minded entrepreneurs and leaders in the area that are making things happen. And in these short 10-minute videos, we're going to get right to the point how Scott Fay, President, CEO of Root Landscaping, how he's making things happen. And he is awesome, and you guys are in for a treat. So Scott, there are lots of landscaping companies. There's no shortage. But yours, your truck is everywhere. You can't miss it. And yours is one of the premier landscaping companies. You're doing some things right, obviously. What would you say is the greatest factor to the success of Root Landscaping?
Well, I'm so glad we have 2 or 3 hours to talk about this.
What would you say in 10 minutes?
Oh, okay. Well, there's several people. Our founder, Roy Root, started in 1946. So I can't sit here and pretend that this all happened because of me. My business partner, Tom Balling, and I have been together for 12 years. And then there's a whole host of people that make this possible. So when you ask the question, I think about the people. Because anybody can buy trucks and plants and shovels and backhoes and loaders, but it's the people that really makes the difference. So what do we do with the people? And when you ask the question, I think one of the things that is so special about Root Landscape is what we call our company culture. Culture is sometimes misunderstood, but it's seldom valued at being as important as it is. Here's what I mean. If character is how somebody behaves when no one's watching, if that's what your character is, then culture is to an organization the way people behave when no one's managing. If character is who you are when no one's watching, then culture is how the organization behaves when no one's managing. So the idea is culture is really who you are. Your policy is what the rules are, but culture is what you are. So we say culture, you have a culture statement. We want to get it off the wall and into the hall. We want to live it. Mm-hmm. And so culture.
So many people have plaques,
yes,
saying what their values
right,
are, but then
right,
there's nothing like to follow it up
nothing
with.
to follow it up with. So it's really important that we have this culture. So how do we do that? Well, it starts with getting it on the wall so you have a goal, right? But we found there's 3 ways to raise the culture. Culture, just like character, can begin to fall apart if you're not really paying attention or being intentional. So there's 3 ways to lift culture. We say it's language, it's symbols, and example. So the language is kind of put up on the plaque on the wall. That's the language, but if you don't repeat it, and if you don't have symbols, people forget. So we've got several symbols that we could talk about. For example, one of the important pieces of our culture is that we have a safety mindset. We don't have a safety program. We have a safety mindset. And in order to do that, then our safety trainer and leader, Jeff Davis, is out there every morning at 6 o'clock in the morning at the front gate with our safety car with flashing lights, and he's wearing his safety clothes, and there's cones. So when guys come in, right away they're encountering a very intentional safety. It's almost like a crossing guard at the school, but it's exceptional. It's extraordinary. And what we're doing is we're putting that symbol right in front of you. That's an example of symbol.
So it's constant reminder.
It's a constant reminder. Symbol, language, and example. And the reminder part, with the example, we say it takes a lot of repetition.
I agree. All right, so you got the culture piece.
So Scott and I had the wonderful opportunity to hang out in a more social setting, and I learned so many great things from him. But one of the things that really stuck out to me, and I have this right here, is the beach ball example. And you were speaking about conflict and how it's not something you're supposed to avoid,
right,
but how it can bring conflict, can bring clarity. That's stuck with me so much.
Right.
Can you explain that to everybody,
Sure,
please?
sure, because this is a really important part of our culture. Conflict does create clarity or it can, if you use it correctly. But by the way, did you know that friction produces light? We avoid friction, but light is a good thing. Friction produces light. Conflict produces clarity, or it can. So how do we do that? So this is an example of one of our symbols. Because Susan Scott, in a book she wrote several years ago, said that our reality in an organization of 2 or more people can be likened to a beach ball, because it represents the entire reality of the organization. But in most cases, you can only see 3 colors of this beach ball from one time. So the camera, let me cheat. The camera can see yellow, orange, and green. But I can't see that when the ball's like this. I see red, blue, and white.
Right.
And Mike, what colors do you see?
And I'm seeing the blue, white, and green.
But you're not seeing the red.
No.
I'm seeing yellow, red, and blue.
Yeah, but white is there, trust me. And so what happens in our organization is we have a conversation, and you're defending this red idea like crazy because it looks good to you. Michael can't even see that red idea, and he's pushing for the white. So what you'll hear in our organization many, many times, you'll hear, I heard it today, I heard it a couple times today, where people say, from my color of the beach ball. And that's shorthand for saying, I'm not devaluing your idea, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm saying from where I'm sitting, I don't see that, I see something else. It's a symbol that helps us understand the importance of conflict in our conversation.
So do you advise everybody keep a beach ball in their conference room?
We have one in our conference room. I have one in my office.
Nice.
And at the Hope Sound Christmas Parade for the last 10 years, we give about 2,500 of these away, and the parade is a giveaway.
Nice.
So you talked about Susan Scott. One of the other people that is on your website that endorses you is John Maxwell.
Yeah.
And what an amazing man and thing he's doing in the community. How is he? What are some of the lessons that he teaches and lives? How have you incorporated some of those into your culture?
So I think what John Maxwell is really known for, he's written over 100 books. So again, we could talk for a long time about what he teaches and what I've learned from him. But if I were to boil it down to one thing, it's he says it's so simple, but it's so profound. He says, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. Some people think it's a corner office, or it's a title, or a position, or a parking spot with your name on it.
Yeah.
But a little 2-week-old baby can cry and get 10 adults to scamper for a pacifier or a diaper, or that's influence, causing people to make a change. That's leadership. So I think where John has made such an impact on my life is understanding, first of all, leadership is influence, and then understand that the highest form of leadership is self-leadership. The greatest purpose of leadership is adding value to others, and leadership is influence, nothing more.
I think that's profound. I mean, I think focusing on culture and leadership, it all ties together.
It does.
And when you have a company full of leaders that are, creating value for this world, success comes.
Well, that's it. The word is in creating. So many people see themselves as victims, and they talk about what the economy's doing. They talk about what their industry is doing. They talk about what the competition, I don't know why you would talk about what the competition is doing. But leaders don't worry about anything. Leaders, they decide where they're going, if they're going to go. A follower is like a sailboat, depending on the wind and the weather and to see what happens. A leader is like a power boat. We're setting our chart, set the course, and we go.
That's wonderful. So we learned a lot about culture, leadership, and how that can lead to the success of your company. Any other last words of advice you might have for other entrepreneurs?
I think there's maybe one other really big thing, and that's the importance of having an attitude of gratitude.
Yes.
We live in a world where people puff their chest, and I hope in this interview that I'm not portraying that I'm all that in a bag of chips, or that our company is. We're blessed. We're blessed to live in an incredible part of the world, and amazing country, an amazing state, an amazing community here in Martin County, and the clientele we get to serve, and the team of people that choose to come to work with me every single day. And so for me, I've got a lot to be grateful for, and I think we all do.
That's right. I mean, I think most people see success and they think that, okay, why don't I have that? But if you look around you, I mean, we all have success, and when you take the time to be, thankful for what you have, I think that's when success multiplies.
Yes.
But thank you so much.
Absolutely.
You're like amazing.
It's
Thank
good to
you,
be with you
and
both.
good luck with
Thank
your
you.
business
Thank
and
you.
in life and everything you're doing. And thank you for watching. And if you want to be on a future interview, go to www.treasurecoasttop100.com, and we hope to meet you soon.